If you've ever tried to import goods for your business, you know that feeling, right? You see the price of the product, but you know that's not the real story. The real question is, what's it actually going to cost to get that product from there to here into your warehouse? Well, today, we're going to dive into that and figure out how to get some real clarity. Because that's the nightmare scenario, isn't it? Unexpected duties, surprise taxes, and those awful customs delays. They can turn what looks like a profitable shipment into a total mess. And these aren't just little annoyances. These hidden fees can genuinely sink your profit margins before you even know what hit you. So, how do you even begin to get a handle on all this uncertainty? Well, your first line of defense is a pretty simple but really powerful tool: the tariff calculator. Let's take a look at how this one tool can start to demystify that whole confusing world of import costs. At its heart, a tariff calculator is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a tool designed to give you a solid estimate, a good ballpark figure, of all those government charges you're going to face when your stuff crosses the border. It's really all about bringing some predictability to what can feel like a super unpredictable process. So how does it actually work? Well, on a basic level, it's surprisingly straightforward. You really only need three key pieces of info. First, the HS code. That's a universal number that basically tells customs officials exactly what your product is. Second, you need to know where it's coming from and where it's headed. And third, what's the declared value of the goods? Simple as that. Once you plug those three things in, the calculator does all the heavy lifting. It crunches the numbers, it finds the right duty rate, it adds on any other taxes like VAT or GST, and then it spits out one single, incredibly important number: your estimated landed cost. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's the total cost of your product once it has landed in your country, ready to go. And listen, knowing that number ahead of time, it's not just a nice little convenience, it's a massive strategic advantage for your business. So let's talk about why this planning really truly pays off. And you can see right here how it creates this huge ripple effect. When you can accurately plan your landed costs, there are no nasty cash flow surprises. When your paperwork is on point from the get-go, you breathe through customs instead of getting stuck in delays. It even helps you make smarter sourcing decisions, because now you can compare the true cost of suppliers from different countries. And at the end of the day, it all rolls up into one thing: smarter, more reliable profit planning. Okay, so it sounds like the perfect solution, right? A simple tool that just fixes a huge, complex problem. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Not all calculators are created equal, and just grabbing any old free one online can be a seriously risky move. This is where we really need to zoom in and look closer, because while a free online calculator is a fantastic starting point, it's got some major limitations. So let's pull back the curtain on the hidden risks that come with relying on just a simple estimate. The most important thing to remember is that these tools give you an estimate. They never, ever give you a guarantee. They often don't have real-time regulatory updates. So a new trade rule gets passed, a tariff rate changes overnight, and bam, your calculation is suddenly wrong. But honestly, their biggest weakness is that they just can't handle modern, complex supply chains. Think about it. If you're sourcing parts from Vietnam, assembling them in Mexico, and then importing to the US, a simple calculator just falls apart. It can't handle all those layers, leaving you with a dangerously wrong number you're basing your business on. So if a basic calculator just isn't going to cut it for a serious business, then what's the answer? Well, this is where we need to move beyond simple calculation and into the world of true compliance. This is really the next level of managing global trade. And this right here, this lays it all out, plain and simple. On one side, you've got the basic calculator. It gives you estimates, often with old data, and it's fine for super simple one-off shipments. But on the other side, you have a full-blown compliance platform. This is built for accuracy. It's actively tracking policy changes in real time, and it's designed from the ground up to handle the complexity that real businesses deal with every single day. So what does that actually mean a platform does? Well, it's not just looking up a number in a table. It's analyzing your products against the very latest tariff codes. It's constantly scanning for any policy changes that could affect your bottom line. It flags potential compliance risks before you ship, not after you've gotten a fine. And get this, it can even automate the incredibly tedious and error-prone job of finding the correct HS code in the first place. And that last point about classification, that is so critical. Because at the end of the day, it's about this one thing: avoiding those incredibly costly misclassification penalties.
Getting an HS code wrong isn't just a small typo. It can lead to massive fines, painful audits, and can really damage your reputation with customs. So when you see the difference between a simple calculator and a real compliance platform, it all kind of boils down to one question, doesn't it? It's about making a conscious choice to move your entire import strategy away from guesswork and towards something you can actually guarantee. So I'll just leave you with this to think about for your own business. When you're planning that next big import, is your strategy built on a hopeful estimate you got from a free online tool? Or is it built on the kind of accuracy you can actually count on, the kind that comes from a real compliance-first approach? The answer to that question could literally be the difference between profit and loss.